somebody? Is there somebody?
Hello, LGBTs. I'm not your enemy necessarily, but I can be. I have nothing against homosexuals. I have nothing against um, people loving people from the same gender. I have nothing against people who want to be transgender. I have nothing against black people or women, for that example. I've nothing against, at least not more than people who are heteros. But I have something against hypocrites. That I excuse myself a little bit. I am vegan for around the half of my life. Or 10 years. Around. Yeah. For the people who don't know what veganism is a way of life that tries to treat other animals as equally as possible to the Homo sapien. I cannot speak it out completely since I consider it to be Arab. I'll make the video about that if you want to check it out. In the description and in the comment section. And maybe put the link there. But furthermore, if you're asking for compassion and respect from other legal persons, and you are not considered to give this back to innocent beings who have harmed your whole life, I most of global 51% is the most greenhouse gas emissions worldwide. Our worldwide systems for that study. At least 91% of the deforestation. Of this is 70% to 75% of cattle ranch. And why should you care about that? First, you are not in the majority. Secondly, the deforestation and the acidification of the oceans also are very bad for the future generations of your own species. Without the rainforests and without the oceans to produce oxygen, there will be no life. And in the last 50 years, because of animal agriculture and fishing, around 40% of the phytoplankton are disappeared. That means also that close to 50% of all the ocean on the planet is disappeared in a short 70 years. So this is extremely embarrassing. How can we claim to be sentient? Wise. Claim to care about equality and justice. What environment? When we destroying the oceans, when we destroying the life habitats of billions and billions of innocent living beings, and when we holocaust also billions and billions of innocent living beings, any year by the animal agriculture industry. In 1 year alone, around 70 billion plant animals and 2.8 trillion marine animals are brutally massacred for a taste pleasure. Something so inexcusable as that. And those animals have nothing harmed you ever in your whole life. You claim always to be so morally good. You are LGBT. You say that you are no right and wrong. But when you claim to know right or wrong, when you are being responsible, are you also responsible for the greatest mass of the whole planet? Get a reality check. Talking nice is not a complete picture. Talk nice and friendly. Don't change the world necessarily. And 100% not alone. Actually do. Speak it in.
Hello. Welcome by my live stream. If you want to see this video, I've put on the beginning of my video. In the whole version, check out my YouTube channel, The Mirror of the Truth. This is my main YouTube channel, where I do environmental videos, animal rights videos, and stuff like that. You have seen just some seconds ago. I also do historical based videos. where I explain why slavery is slavery, no matter the victims. If you replace the victims, you still have slavery. Slavery is a system of systematic oppression, torture, and enslavement, commodification of innocent other animals. And you are an animal. You are an animal. The word animal comes from the Latin words animare, life, breathing, soul, in life, conscious. So, welcome to my channel, mate. I have some questions for you now. If there is already somebody, I do not know. Comment in the comment section if you are there. At least I hope you can. This is my second live stream, by the way, not second, third live stream. So I have to figure things a little bit better out for now. And I have to think about how I can better make my videos visible. By the way, this is a banana based fruit salad with blueberries, dates, a little bit of flax seed oil. Yeah, dit was a song. Oh yes, sorry, I see I have accidentally started a new live stream. So, for people how just start in, my name is Giamata Stekavarin, also known as the Mirror of the True and the Immortal Vegan. That are all video channels on YouTube of me. The Mirror of the True is my all-around vegan channel. On that channel I do animal rights videos, I do environmental videos, I do a lot of style of videos. Also place sometimes certain groups of megalomania on their place. By the way, that is my nickname for the species house the most dominant on the planet. By the way, check out this video of me.
Is a way of life that tries to treat your enemy necessarily, but it can be. I have nothing against homosexuals. I have nothing against people from the same gender. this is 70% to 75% of calories. And why should you care about that? Now first, you are not in the majority. Secondly, the deforestation and the acidification of the oceans also are very bad for the future generations of your own species. Without the rainforests and without the oceans to produce oxygen, there will be no life on the planet. And in the last 50 years, because of animal agriculture and fishing, around 40% of all the phytoplankton are disappeared. That means also that close to 50% of all the oxygen on the planet is disappeared in a short 70 years. This is extremely embarrassing.
Raffle has his graffiti too. Okay, so we got two graffitis to raffle off.
Claim to care about equality and justice. The whole environment. When we destroying the oceans, when we destroying the life habitats of billions and billions of innocent living beings, and when we holocaust also billions and billions of innocent living beings, any year by the animal agriculture industry. In 1 year alone, around 70 billion land animals and 2.8 trillion marine animals are brutally
Hello. I think there is something wrong because I see people. A friend of me says they see other people, but I see not other people. And I see also no comments. So have I blocked myself from seeing comments of you? That's weird, by the way, if that's true. Oh, I see now why.
If you are not careful, the media will let you hate the ones that's doing the good work, the liberations, and love the exploiters. This is the media, one irresponsible media. They can let you feel empathy for criminals, violent puffs, and mass murderers because they control the mind of the masses. The media is only interested in three basic things: the attractive factor, the scandal factor, and the violent factor. The attractive factor is, for example, if you have some model on your ship or some celebrity. Then you have also the scandal factor. If there are connected in some scandal, and if there's also a violent scandal. Now, then you have first price tickets on the newspapers, man. Because that's what the media loves. The media loves scandals. The media loves celebrities. And their love violence. They are not open on that they love violence. But it can make some money for them. Get some attention. It will trigger people's attention. And marketing people are fascinated. And I say fascinated by attractive people who are connected in a scandal. Weed is also a violence. They love violence at opening. But if you look to the tactic and which are in the media, you can see they love violence, they love attractiveness, and they love scandals.
In 1984, I organized a campaign against the killing of wolves in northern British Columbia and the Yukon. And we had them shooting wolves, which is violent. They threatened to shoot us, which was violent.
And they're allowed to shoot wolves. Why? They're culling them. What's the excuse?
Yeah, big game hunters want them down because they're.
And they're just their excuses to cull them. They can't.
And then we had scandal because the environment minister was caught taking a bribe from a big game hunting official. So to round this up, to have all four elements, I asked Bo Derek to be our spokesperson, and that gave us the other two elements. Right. And at the press conference, a reporter from the Vancouver Sun said, "This is stupid. Why do you have Bo Derek? She's no authority on wolves. Why is she your spokesperson?" I said, well, if I had the best wolf biologist in the world, Dr. David Meck or Dr. Gordon Haber, nobody would be here, you wouldn't listen to us. But I see the room's full of journalists. It'll be the front page of your paper. Tomorrow you're going to write it,
Yeah.
and there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
There's also the reason that a lot of some YouTubers are going full in the scandal factor, because the media love that. It's what the media also do. And if you look at the YouTube channels, how talk about things the media talks about, they get exposure in this moment. So, this YouTube algorithm a little bit on this moment. So where I see it. Also, think about this. It is not so much important what truth. If you ask the media, then want to know what is most popular. That's the reason they are going now on the anti-vegan wagon. And the wagon of the farmers are so sad because they get exposed by vegans. I would say that farmers are a bunch of criminals. Not according to the law, but according to logic. Because they profit from the misery of innocent living beings. It's akin to the slave masters in the 19th century. I'm saying that the slave liberationists don't take a note on the position of the slave masters. Like, you know, the governor of the South, Hammond, actually also say in some of his letters, the abolitionist reasoning in the abstract, if it were moral or metaphysical speculation or minor question in politics, professors to be surprised, said, at or expression in their ignorance and recklessness, there seems to be unable to comprehend our feelings or position and surprise of our rights by destroying our property. So stop playing dumb, people. The media is the most powerful entity on the world because the media controls the mind of the masses, sadly enough. Media is also a pretty narrow, is dishonest and often corrupt. If they are also not careful, they're also corrupting themselves. Like Goebbels, the propaganda minister of Nazi Germany. I want to make Hitler seem so peaceful as dandy and spread a lot of lies to make Hitler's image better than it was in reality. For example, that Hitler was vegan or vegetarian. That Hitler was for animal rights, something that is absolute a lie. The only love that he had for his dog, for example, was that the dog was strong, and that's what something that he respected. He don't respect it, the weak. He called himself the Führer, the Big Daddy, just like the Pope. Pope means also Big Daddy. He wants to be just like the Pope. I be sure of that. Particularly if you look what Himmler or occult things I've tried to make, his search for the holy clones, you know, the holy grail. That's what he wants. That's what he searched, what he also searched for. He also saw some temples in castles, so and so forth. In Germany, if Hitler won, we have a new crazy delusional religion, organized religion to it. Yes, it is true. Hitler despised most organized Christian religions, but there is one particular one that he not distasted, fantastic, and that was Luther's Christians. A lot of Germans were Lutheran Christians. I say not that Lutheran Christians are criminals or and all Nazis, but maybe it was because Luther was German that he don't dislike him and his teacher. You know, the whole Übermans concept of him. Have created. It does not matter, according to the media, if something is true. The media only cares if something is can be marketed. If something is popular, there are absolutes the opposites of my standards. I ask myself always the question: is it sad? Is it popular? Come the day that you have to take a position that is not popular. It's not political right, but you can't say that it is right. Yeah. If you can't say that something is right, you are an honest person and you are being honest to yourself. Nah, and you have to take that position. The media thinks in this way. Is something said? Yes. And I'm going to do it. Is political correct? If somebody already in a bad light by the media, yeah. And we going to roast them and put scandals on them. But like they do with or try to do with vegans like Joey Carpstorm, however criminal history. And try to put words in his mouth and turn his actions, what I've done in the past, in what he can probably doing now. It's against to how the media tries to demonize Malcolm X because of his drug history and his criminal history. As Malcolm X in that time of saying, to have once be a criminal is no disgrace, but to remain a criminal, that's the disgrace. It does not matter what you have done. What truly matters is what you do. That means, in other words, that you don't have to be the person that you are today necessarily, that you have been in the past. In other words, screw you, media, for blackmailing people like Joey Carpstorm and other vegans, when the farmers are actually the violent ones. They harm the animals. They're working in concentration camps. There are the violent people. And the people who are buying these products. Not we. Just like the slave masters try to blackmail the abolitionists. The media is the most powerful entity in the world. And if you are not careful, they let you hate the heroes of the time, and love the criminals, violent, legal criminals, and violate the rights of others. Just because they can money out of it. If you look over the world, you see that anything is connected in one or another way. If you put the strings a little bit, you see that it is connected to something else. And not things stand apart from each other. Anything is connected. If you destroy and pollute one bit of the world, on the longer run, it will also affect the health of other ecosystems. We live not in different worlds. And economic, people have to stop saying that we not there are the first world, the second world, and the third world, because that are all arbitrary propaganda, lies, and deceit. A better word for it are matrices, illusions, fake realities. We have only one world, and we have to be more careful with it. The essence of capitalism is to turn nature into commodities and to turn commodities into capital. The life of green earth is earned in nothing more than that rich with luxury items for the few and toxic items for the many. Where in one glittery mansion look out of the streets, wherein one restaurant this immoralized humanity is held in captivity with the media, with drugs, and with armed force. Capitalism is a foolish idea. What an astounding idea that the most wickedest of men will do the most wickedest of things for the greatest good of anybody. Think about this for a moment. That's what in America is the norm. And a lot of Western countries that have adopted the model of capitalism. Capitalism served its master. Capitalism served the rich man. Capitalism don't serve the man, only the one that can avoid.
Hello? Hello. Is there somebody out there? By the way, for the people who have not watched the beginning of this video, my name is Yamata Sekarin. I am a musician. I am a vegan for around the half of my life on this earth. And I am a biocentrist. That means that I look at the world in a totally different way than the majority of the people on this planet. I view this world's viral according to how I think the world will viral likewise. I think since we are specifically on the moment are not so very words so much words to this planet. We should not value ourselves so much. But if we can become a species of viral, which I mean with a species of viral is that we don't destroy our environment, we are living in harmony with the other earthlings. By the way, if you want to check that movie out, because that is a movie, you can go to YouTube or another website where there are here is Earthlings, here's one of Earthlings, or you can watch Plants of Hope and Glory, and that one animal rise.
When we think of UK farming, we imagine picturesque rolling hills of lush greenery and serenity, inhabited by peaceful, content farm animals roaming freely amongst the landscape. These cultural associations of traditional UK farming.
If you go to this website, you can watch it. If you want to know how humane animal agriculture is, what I mean with humane is absolutely not humane, because there is no humane way to commodify and enslave other living beings. And if that statement is hard and controversial to you, my guest, I suggest you have never watched this situation from the victim's point of view, unless the victim is two-legged ogre how gets roasted in some rhetoric of vegans like me or vegans like Gary Rofsky or that vegan lawyer. But you have never watched serious from the serious victims in the scenario. The animals are the victims. They are treated in horrible conditions. They are massacred, like that you see in movies like A Land of Hope and Glory or Earthlings. those documentaries show you the truth about what is happening in this world. Instead of the fluffy, fake reality the meat, dairy and egg industry wants you to believe. And of course they want you to believe that. Of course they want to let you believe that animals are happy and safe. Of course they will let you believe that it's all rainbows and sunshine, like they do in the farm games. Because they are businessmen and they will to sell you stuff that make you actually sick. I have a whole category of resources. I bet I can, for any study you show me that animal body parts and secretions are not causing diseases, I bet I can show you two that say that cause animal body parts and secretions cause diseases. I all place them in my pages. I have a category about cancer, and I have a category about skin issues. I have a category about cows and bovine secretions. I have a category about Alzheimer's, dementia, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis. And in any of those sources in the category, I have at least 2 to 3 studies linking animal body parts and secretions to many of the common diseases of gluttony in our Western world. I know some of you find it hard and controversial to hear because you are brainwashed by animal agriculture and their slick marketing propaganda that wants you to consume their body parts. But you have to understand that if you are in the addict mindset, that your mindset most likely is not so rational, and therefore you should ask opinions of people who don't addicts in the scenario, because they can think more rational, since they are not addicted to the stuff you are addicted to. You don't ask a meth addict or a cocaine addict so about the health or negative health aspects of coke, do you? So why do you ask for health aspect about animal body parts, the secretions, from people like Joe Rogan? I mean this old dude. this is how he looks in his 20s, I think, because if not, he extremely fast ages. Completely bald. He thinks also that hunting is more civilized in buying animals from this animal slave trade. Yeah, so this is very sad that people are brainwashed that they have the right to commodified animals and enslave them for food. It's a bit similar to how slave masters were brainwashed to consider black people in America to be slaves, and how Arabs in Europe, how Arabs in the Middle East were believing that whites and Indians were considered to be lesser and deserving of to be commodified. Um, where did I have that article? Very long, a bit long ago, I did wrote an article about slavery, specifically white slavery also, where Indian slavery under the Ottoman Empire. Search for the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal Sultanate, both Muslim, Ottoman, stylish, Sharia lawish, stylish laws whether holds in that country. Sharia law is just as despicable as the slave master law. By the way, many people on the Sharia law, specifically men, are brainwashed from birth that they have the right to have a woman even if she don't want to marry him. Actually, one of the crazy aspects of Sharia law is that men can marry a 6-year-old child. I don't. I'm not joking. Serious. This in Sharia law. If you don't believe me and you say I'm racist or Islamophobic, it's serious happen in countries like Saudi Arabia, and more than you can imagine, maybe. Yes, some interpretations of the Quran indeed allowed people to be enslaved when they are not believing, or how if they are not believing in an organized religion with one god. In many cases, the Christians and the Jews were better off than the Hindus, since Hindus believed in many gods, and therefore were so pagans. That means they believe in more gods. Paganism means they believe in more gods, just like you have the monotheistic religion. Mono means one, believing in one god. Atheism means actually atheism, not believing in a god. And therefore, Hindus and Buddhists were often worse off in the Ottoman rule than the Christians and the Jews were considered to people of the book, and so if they are paying the jizya, tax on non-Muslims, they often have no problems. The jizya changed a little bit per empire, but in general it was around 2.5% of their financial salary. Religion isn't just another way to brainwash humane humans, says the soulmate healing. Yes, you can say. Schopenhauer called that religion the art of the greatest art of animal training, because it learns people to think. That's what he said about organized religion. I use the word hominid for a species for reasons I have said in another video. That I can also say that in this way also because the words human and humane are etymology. According to the etymology, basically the same word. It's only changed in the 18th century. Both words come from the Latin word humanus, which means with kindness. Civilized and benevolent. So far I see, it's the only reason our species calls itself human is because they believe they are so much more special than other living beings. So I go back to the word we used for our ancestors before we starting to call ourselves humans, and we are the only surviving member of the family hominids. So I call our species the hominids. Some scientists want to place gorillas also in this category, but I think it is I think it is an insult to gorillas to place them in the sub category as us, because gorillas are far more superior than us. I'm not kidding. I'm also disagreeing with the name Homo sapien for our species, since I consider our species not so sapiens. Sapien means wise, by the way, in Latin, for the people that don't know that. I don't. I hope that I don't have to lay it out in so much detail for you. Yes, it is pretty hilarious, indeed. In the time of slavery, slaves were also one of another reason why I call not our species humans is because historic. If you look to the historic way of using it, slave masters were only using most of the time, specifically slave owners. Um, abolitionists call them slaves, sometimes humans, but the slave masters themselves um, called their own species. They called them own class humans. It was actually a bit of a class how they use it. So it is, if you ask me, it is an attitude. The slave masters did believe their class was more humane, therefore more humane than the blacks, how they're called savages, which means uncivilized, basically. That means without civilization. It means without morality. It means that there are sub man. There's also another name there called slaves in that time. The slave masters called the slaves things like subman, they're called bondman, from bondation, caten, slave, prison, ankle. Bondation, caten, prison, taking away freedom, enslavement. Another word was thrall. And the slave masters did also have a lot of other names for the slaves. So they sensitize them and make them actually in their minds lesser than them. That's what oppressors always do. Slave for masters, sexists, homophobes, they always place a mirror between them and their oppressor, the one they're oppressed, and they're allowed to anybody how is lower than them fight against them. That's the reason we have a middle class in society. The middle class is created so the upper class can more easily go away with the scandals. So because the middle class and the lower class are fighting with each other, so the upper class have more free time to fuck around, to say it rudely. Yes, that's how the media works indeed. The media is focused, can actually understand three things, like I say in one of my videos about the media. I just show it on the beginning of the video.
If you are not careful, immediately. The essence of capitalism is to turn nature into commodities.
No, that's not the one.
Turn commodities into. If you are not careful, the media, they can let you feel empathy for criminals, violent puffs. Three basic things: the attractive factor, the scandal factor, and the violent factor. The attractive factor is For example, if you have some model on your ship or some celebrity, then you have also the scandal factor. If they are connected in some scandal, and if there's also a violent scandal, man, then you have first price tickets on the newspapers, man. Because that's what the media loves. The media loves scandals. The media loves celebrities. And they love violence. They are not open on that they love violence. But it can make some money for them, get some attention. It will trigger people's attention. And marketing people are fascinated, and I say fascinated, by attracting people who are connected in a scandal. Weed is also a violence. They love violence at opening. But if you look to the tactic and which are in the media, you can see they love violence, they love attractiveness, and they love scandals.
In 1984, I organized a campaign against the killing of wolves in northern British Columbia and the Yukon. And we had them shooting wolves, which is violent. They threatened to shoot us, which is violent.
And they're allowed to shoot wolves. Why? They're culling them. What's the excuse?
Yeah, big game hunters want them down because they're.
And they're just their excuses to cull them. They can't.
And then we had scandal because the environment minister was caught taking a bribe from a big game hunting official. So to round this up, to have all four elements, I asked Bo Derek to be our spokesperson. And that gave us the other two elements. Right. And at the press conference, a reporter from the Vancouver Sun said, "This is stupid. Why do you have Bo Derek? She's no authority on wolves. Why is she your spokesperson?" I said, "Well, if I had the best wolf biologist in the world, Dr. David Mecker, Dr. Gordon Haber, nobody would be here. You wouldn't listen to us. But I see the room's full of journalists. It'll be the front page of your paper tomorrow. You're going to write it, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it."
There's also the reason that a lot of some YouTubers are going full in the scandal factor, because the media love that. It's what the media also do. And if you look at the YouTube channels, how talk about things the media talks about, they get exposure in this moment. So this YouTube algorithm a little bit on this moment, so very I see it. Also, think about this. It is not so much important what truth. If you ask the media, they want to know what is most popular. That's the reason they are going now on the anti-vegan wagon. And the wagon of the farmers are so sad because they get exposed by vegans. How say that farmers are a bunch of criminals. Not according to the law, but according to logic. Because they profit from the misery of innocent living beings. It's akin to the slave masters in the 19th century. How I'm saying that the slave liberationists don't take a note on the position of the slave masters. Like, the governor of the South, Hammond, actually also say in some of his letters, the abolitionist reasoning in the abstract, if it were moral or metaphysical speculation or minor question in politics, professors to be surprised, set out or expression in their ignorance and recklessness, there seems to be unable to comprehend our feelings or position and surprise of our rights by destroying our property. So stop playing dumb, people. The media is the most powerful entity on the world because the media controls the mind of the masses, sadly enough. Media is also a pretty narrow, is dishonest, and often corrupt. If they are also not careful, they are also corrupting themselves. Like Goebbels, the propaganda minister of Nazi Germany. I want to make Hitler seem so peaceful as dandy and spread a lot of lies to make Hitler's image better than it was in reality. For example, that Hitler was vegan or vegetarian. That Hitler was for animal rights. Something that is absolute a lie. The only love that he had for his dog, for example, was that the dog was strong. And that's what something that he respected. He don't respect it, the weak. He called himself the Führer, the Big Daddy, just like the Pope. Pope means also Big Daddy. He wants to be just like the Pope. I be sure of that. Particularly if you look what Himmler or occult things of try to make his search for the holy you know, the holy grail. That's what he wants. That's what he searched, but he also searched for. He also saw some temples, castles, so and so on and so forth. In Germany, if Hitler won, we have a new crazy delusional religion or nice religion to it. Yes, it is true. Hitler despised most organized Christian religions, but there is one particular one that he not distasted, and that was Luther's Christians. A lot of Germans were Lutheran Christians. I say not that Lutheran Christians are criminals and all Nazis, but maybe it was because Luther was German that he don't dislike him and his teacher. You know, the whole Übermans concept of him. Have created. It does not matter, according to the media, if something is true. The media only cares if something is can be marketed. If something is popular, there are absolutes the opposites of my standards. I ask myself always the question, is it sad? Is it popular? Come the day that you have to take a position that is not popular. It's not politically correct, but you can't say that it is right. Yeah. If you can't say that something is right, you are an honest person and you are being honest to yourself. Now, you have to take that position. The media thinks in this way. Is something safe? Yes. And I'm going to do it. Is political correct? If somebody bring already in a bad light by the media. Yeah. And we going to roast them and put scandals in there. Just like they do or try to do with vegans like Joey Carpstorm, however criminal history. And try to put words in his mouth and turn his actions, what I've done in the past, in what he can possibly doing now. It's against to how the media tries to demonize Malcolm X because of his drugs history and his criminal history. As Malcolm X in that time of time, to have once be a criminal is no disgrace, but to remain a criminal, that's the disgrace. It does not matter what you have done. What truly matters is what you do there. That means, in other words, that you don't have to be the person that you are today necessarily, that you have to be in the past.
So, you can check the whole video out if you want. Oh, I see. I have again the conspiracy theorist on my YouTube channel, spreading his "we are all robots" rhetoric. So funny. He can believe what he wants, but I don't believe in the "we are all machines" rhetoric, because we are existing out of carbon. We don't existing out of metal. That we have to eat some kind of metals in our diets. Does not mean that we are robots. We are living organisms. Robots are not living or sentient, and there is no proof that robots ever can be sentient. Not by any credible scientific source, so far I know. I don't believe in conspirations, Mr. KP. I don't believe in conspirations. I believe in science. I believe in research. I don't believe in theories of somebody I have never met in real life, or how have little to no scientific backgrounds, so far I know. please, if you are only going to talk about how you believe that we are robots, please come and talk about other stuff, or go to other people how are believing also that we are all robots. Yes, I have heard of Lipton. I'm not agree with anything he said, but there are many things I agree on. Yes, we exist out of many types of bacteria. We exist out of more bacteria cells than hominid cells. The name I call our species actually a ratio of 1.3 bacteria cells on one so-called human cell. So, what is the stuff I shall talking about in my next coming videos on my Mirror of the Truth videos? Life is far more than only proteins. By the way, KP. In genetic material, there is also types of sugars. If you not believe me, search for it. DNA is not pure 100% protein. Yes, I can see. I think from any place I am streaming in the app of Restream. Do you truly want to know? Why do you not do your research? Maybe I do one video about the software I know that is proven about the complete genome of our DNA. You can think if you truly want reduce basically anything to atoms. KP, why do you hanging in my stream actually? Have you truly questions, or you just want to get your high? From which university do you a course? It sounds you are listening to conspiracy theories. You say that I'm strawmanning you. Maybe it is because I don't subscribe to your anthropocentric way of thinking, and I don't believe in the Rene Descartes retard philosophy. I'm backwards. I have never believed in the retardation of Rene Descartes. I have always think that that guy was an idiot, since he believes in that we are robots, and that we don't, that animals don't can feel pain, and even that he have seen that animals suffering when he was executing and torturing animals in his psychotic work, in his disgusting studies. Ideas, tools are created by experiments, and how we are perceiving this world. You're stretching the imagination. You're stretching the reality a bit to come to conclusions that um, leaves have that plants have that plants have eyes on their leaves, and that the nectar of the plants is in any way similar to blood. KP, have you changed your YouTube name? Maybe. Because I can only remember to see you for a couple of months. When I can clearly remember many other of my longer time subscribers. Gaming, you mean? I'm not so much in gaming. I use this platform maybe mainly to watch my own videos sometimes and talk about stuff. That's where I not all the time also live stream on YouTube, because the channel where I live stream on is mainly my cooking channel. It is not a debate channel. Maybe I would do make a channel where I only debate people. Yes, I did have one game channel. I have placed there maybe 5 videos on. Proteins are amino acids. Your body breaks down proteins into amino acids, and then your body makes it into proteins, their amino acids they need. all plant foods have all the nutrients and vitamins you need. Protein is absolutely not a problem. The only people who believe you can get shortage of protein are people who are honestly a bit dumb or have not done their research good about this stuff and have only watched people who are addicted to protein and who are selling protein supplements, working for the meat, dairy, and egg industry. The hominid body, or species by the way, and this name I call my species for the people who, if there are new people watching the stream, needs only around 5% protein according to the World Watch Institute. I have a video about that stuff by the way.
And the people don't get protein deficiency. For the people who claim that they have protein deficiency, protein 28 grams of protein. And the people don't get protein deficiency. For the people who claim that they have protein deficiencies, I say you most likely have caloric deficiencies.
I also can show you an article of Dr. John Matuko, one of the most greatest nutritional scientists. There's a newsletter of Dr. John Matuko where he actually talks about how the World Health Organization and the in the 1974 have placed people on an extremely low protein diet with actually little to no negative effects. Actually no little negative effects. There are put people on a 5% protein diet. That's around 29 grams of protein for a woman, that's guys, and for a man around 38 grams protein. You can check that video out on this video. It is this link in the description in the blue if you want to check that article out of Dr. John McDougall. Yes. That's a good idea. I stop giving you attention, K. P. If you want to blare your nonsense, please do it somewhere else. And maybe eat some fruits. Eat some raw fruit. Eat some bananas. Eat some blueberries. Eat some dates. By the way, if you want to talk about health stuff, why are you not going to sit in the live streams of Dr. John McDougall or in the of Miguel Greger? There are more experts in this field than me. I know a lot about stuff, but I think there know a bit more. Diabetes type 2. I see I've 3 studies about diabetes type 2. Can you see it? People? I've put the statistics on top on the link to the study, and this shows that vegans have 68% lower rates of diabetes than non-vegans or vegetarians. Diabetes is, by the way, caused by the body's this capacity to problems with absorption of sugars because the fat is in the way. And if you are becoming less fat, your arteries are becoming more working better, and your pancreas is not longer your liver is not longer overproducing of insulin. It's not insulin. The insulin. The insulin receptors are no longer paralyzed, and then your body can again easily absorb the sugars out of your food, but that can they not do when there are so much fat in the way. Type 2 diabetes is mainly only caused by excess of fat in the diet. So the only vegans who have diabetes are the ones who eat large amount of fat in diet, lots of oil, for example. But then body get not paralyzed from carbohydrates. The insulin receptors, in the body are not paralyzed by sugar. And better name for sugar for diabetes is actually not sugar disease, like they like to call it in my country, but in fact a better name should be fat disease, because it's because your body is oversaturated with fat. Now, how long do I streaming now? Actually, there's a lot of time. I think so. By the way, this is mint water with the ginger. I like it very much. Very rich, fresh. Maybe people how think diabetes is not easy to solve with a whole food plant-based diet. Maybe should search for names like Dr. Campbell. Dr. Campbell or Dr. John Matuko. I can also make a video about it, but I think Dr. John Matuko can explain it better. He has actually a video diabetes type 2.
Hi, I'm Dr. John McDougall, and what people want me to talk about more and more these days is diabetes. People are talking a lot about diabetes. They ought to be. I mean, somewhere around 10% of the population in the United States is diabetic. And the kind of diabetes we're talking about is type 2 diabetes. Used to be called adult type diabetes, but we just call it type 2 now. And by definition, this kind of diabetes is due to the rich Western diet and becoming fat. So, you would think if that's what type 2 diabetes is, it's a consequence of eating the rich Western diet and becoming fat, that you ought to be able to cure it by correcting the problem. And you can, by definition. I want you to know I sincerely mean this. By definition, type 2 diabetics are always curable by fixing the problem, which is the Western diet. Get rid of it. Substitute it for a starch-based diet with the addition of fruits and vegetables. Lose the associated
You are guilty of an appeal to anti-authority. Anytime you say that something is not a fact or something like that, because it is an authority, that's just as much a fallacy as saying something is something just because an authority figure says it. So you are, I suggest, intentional, extremely ironic, Mr. KP.
excess weight, the obesity, and you will be cured. That's what the truth is, and that's what the science says. And my more than 35 years of experience as a medical doctor shows that to be true. Why not? Think about it. The definition, type 2 diabetes, a dietary disease by definition. Why couldn't you fix it? You can. You lose the weight, you eat a healthy diet, and it goes away, and you get off the pills. And that's, of course, what you want. But people aren't hearing that. What they're hearing is you need to take one pill after another pill, and then you have to go on insulin shots. And these pills make you sick.
You're the
Matter of
one
fact,
making
they
things
make
up.
you even fatter, and your diabetes gets worse, and you feel lost. And the
I
problem
stopped
is
now
continuing.
sorry to
They
react to
expect
you,
within
okay?
the next 30 years,
Because you
with
are
30% of the population
clearly
in
so
Western countries.
because you're clearly so full of yourself that you are incapable of thinking for yourself and outside of your addictions. I think here's something I can give you. Please stop listening to trolls on the internet and pseudoscientists and pseudo doctors like you know, that weirdo on the internet, how things eating pig organs is okay. I like that German guy, SV Rich. You know, that bit balded guy with the weird fantasies about cannibalism and believing serial killers are heroes. You are a victim of veganism. Have you actually the idea how the true victims are?
Keep as companions are
These are the
to keep
victims.
animals as companions
Look
but
to
still
them.
address their needs.
These are the victims. You are not
Is
the
our keeping
victim. You
companion animals
are
in
the
their best
oppressor.
interest, or are we exploiting them?
Stop taking the
The
victims
answers to
out of the
these questions
scenario.
may lie in the attitudes of
You
the human
are a
caretakers and their
filthy,
abilities to
disgusting,
provide suitable environments for
parasitic
companion animals.
organism who don't deserve to live. How can you ask for something you are not willing to give? It is unfair to ask for something you are not willing to give. We can all get all our vitamins and all our minerals from plants. So there is no need for holocausting like this you see on the moment. It is time to evolve.
Most human beings are speciesists. This film shows that ordinary human beings, not a few exceptionally cruel
I
or
know
heartless
this is hard
humans,
to see.
but the overwhelming majority of people take an active part as value because
I
they
know
are
this is
alive.
hard to see, but this is what you support when you
Ripping the
are
trachea and
eating
esophagi
animals.
from their
I know,
throats
I
is
don't
another
like to
egregious
see it.
violation.
I don't
Since
like to
kosher
see it
animals are
truly.
not to be touched.
And I know you don't like to see it.
Until
So
bleeding
stop
stops.
paying for this Holocaust to happen. This is happening in slaughterhouses all around the world. This is not an isolated incident.
And by dumping struggling and
This
dying
is what
steers through metal chutes
People how are
onto blood-soaked floors,
life activists how
with their
are
breathing tubes and gullets dangling
protesting.
out.
See anytime there are protests around the slaughterhouse, you can
This
go
sacred
inside.
task is neither
This is the
clean nor
stuff
compassionate.
the media don't want you to see. Awaken.
Shackling and hoisting
Are you going to play that game also? Let them make a video about it. Maybe you can also go think about this way. Animals in the animal agriculture industry eat also greens. At least 60% of all the grains on the world are fed to livestock, mate. So you kill far more animals and insects and rodents when you eat animal flesh. Stop playing the sleazy rapist defender or rapist. How say, oh, this is the woman's problem for becoming raped because she dressed too slutty. This is how you actually sound. How can you claim that vegans have any blame when you have nothing ever remorse for the cruelty you inflict? You are a hypocrite. That's the definition of a hypocrite. And by the way, animals who are in the fields have a chance to escape. And most of them escape before the tractors come and kill the plants or take the plants. You are so treated. All your delusional flesh eaters, how think, oh, we say that vegans also kill plants, so why can we not do it? Are you going also say from something like that? From we cannot stop all rapists from raping, so we are not try to let them stop raping. By the way, the animal agriculture industry is the biggest rape organization on the planet. Animal raping, animal. Dairy is rape, it is dirty. They put one hand in the female procreation organ of the cow and then steal her baby. How can you live with yourself? Veganism is about causing the least amount of harm possible on the whole planet. Stop talking like Mr. Hammonds, the governor of the South. How's that? The abolitionists are reasoning in the abstract. If it were some moral or political question or minor question in politics, in the recklessness and arrogance, they forget completely our position and our rights. The suppression of our property. And if you don't believe me, check out Hammond's letters on slavery, mate. Now go to this website. And go read this essay. 20, no, 32 pages of slavery rhetoric and defense of their immoral status quo. And maybe it lets you think about the justification of the fallacy of appeal to social contract. You can better feed people plants. It takes up to 20 times more food from plant food to create 1 pound of animal flesh. Feeding people animals is insane if you want to feed the world. The only reason of world hunger, according to basic logic, is by feeding anybody on a plant-based diet. Like I have said in this article of mine I have saved. And here are the sources. Indeed. So you can see if you search for this link, up to 84% of all the livestock live in countries where children's food is stolen to feed the livestock. How is then feed to the West? Your non-vegans are so hilarious. You're stealing the food out of poor children from Africa's mouth. And you say that we vegans are the hypocrites. Have you ever heard from the word irony? Because you are so ironic. On 1 acre of land you can feed around 6 vegans, and you need 3 acres of land to feed 1 person on the American diet. To feed 1 person on the necrovore, mostly 100% necrovore diet, beef-based diet, etc., then you need actually 13.5 acres of land. It is insane. Eating animals is totally unsustainable. Oh, yes, it is always so easy to blame somebody else and say that you are yourself right, but that others are wrong. Because your ego is, I suggest, more worth to you than the life of billions of innocent living beings. People like you, K, Pei, are the reason I despise so many of my species. You are a joke and a sarcasm. Please leave my stream. Now, soulmate meditation, are you still there? Sorry that I have not blocked him earlier. I was hoping I can convince him that he was totally delusional, but sadly his ego is so huge that no bit of logic, I suggest, will convince him that he is totally brainwashed and honestly a bit cuckoo. Maybe I have to stop this stream now. For the people who are watching my stream now, who just are coming on, I'm not always as angry, or how you want to see it, or blind as I did become because of that KP. And I'm most of the time more friendly and nice. So I have blocked him. I get a little bit furious when people are totally taking the victims out of the scenario. I totally get pissed off when people are thinking they are the victim when they are not the victim. I absolutely despise people who think they are more important than other living beings just because they belong to a more privileged species or a more privileged class. This reminds me of some of my bullies from high school. I also think it was fun for them to bully me because I was very skinny, even more skinny than I am now, and I get bullied because of that. I was the strange, weird kid. On school, playing with insects, walking away around with them, place them on trees, and then playing guitar on. Thank you so much, meditation. I just have to say maybe I'm strange according to society's norms, according to the majority of people. But strange, if you ask me, strange is not always negative. It just means that you are different. The world will be very the world will be very straight if anybody was normal according to society. I think I will put out the chat for now. I've nearly 1 hour streamed. I was not knowing that I can do that, stream for so long time. I did not know I have it in me to do such a long stream. So long stream was, you know, vegan gains. He's a bit rude, but sometimes he's funny. Sometimes I find him very annoying. I think this guy, Vegan Gains, will kick most meat eaters' butt. If they say, where you get your protein from? Plants, baby. But now, when darkness and light become one, the reality is splintered away. Think, people. Think for yourself. Think from the perception of the victim. Never, and I repeat, never, place yourself in the position of the victim when you are not the victim. When vegans say you are bullying animals or you are supporting animal cruelty, that's not bullying, that's the reality. If you say that children suffer to a pedophile, how abuse children, that's not bullying the pedophile. If you are saying to rapists that women don't like to be raped, that's not bullying the rapist. That's speaking up for the victims. Do you get what I mean? Bye bye. Till the next time.